Welcome to That Was Invented for what? Everyday objects, wild origin stories. Chainsaws, bubble wrap, Coca-Cola. You think you know what they were made for? 22 questions. Let's see how many shock you. Let's kick things off with a wild one. The chainsaw was originally invented for use in which field? Childbirth and bone surgery. Scottish doctors invented a small chainsaw around 1783 to cut through the pelvis during obstructed labor, about the size of a kitchen knife. Treadmills were originally invented in 1818 for what purpose? Punishing prisoners. Inmates walked 6 to 10 hours daily, climbing up to 14,000 vertical feet. Even Oscar Wilde had to endure it. Pop, pop, pop! Bubble wrap was originally invented in 1957 as what product? Textured 3D wallpaper. Two engineers sealed shower curtains together for a trendy wall covering. It flopped hard. The breakthrough? Packaging for IBM's fragile new computer. Before it was a children's toy, Play-Doh was originally sold as what? A wallpaper cleaner. Putty for scrubbing soot-off walls in coal-heated homes. A nursery school teacher noticed kids loved molding it. Over 3 billion cans later. Before becoming a mouthwash, Listerine was originally developed in 1879 as what? A surgical antiseptic, named after Joseph Lister, later marketed as floor cleaner, dandruff cure, even a gonorrhea treatment, before they invented halitosis to sell mouthwash. Machine-spun cotton candy was co-invented in 1897 by a confectioner and what unlikely professional? A dentist! Dr. Morrison and confectioner Wharton sold almost 69,000 boxes at the 1904 World's Fair. And yes, another dentist later coined the name cotton candy. Reverend Sylvester Graham invented the graham cracker around 1829, primarily to do what? Suppress sexual urges through bland diet. The minister believed desire caused illness. His unsweetened crackers were intentionally boring. Modern honeygrams would have horrified him. High-heeled shoes were originally designed for whom? Persian male cavalry riders. Heeled boots locked their feet in stirrups while shooting bows on horseback. Louis XIV later made red heels a status symbol. Men didn't ditch them until the 1730s. The Super Soaker water gun was invented by Lonnie Johnson, whose day job was what? A nuclear engineer at NASA! Johnson worked on the Galileo mission and the stealth bomber. Tinkering with a heat pump at home, water shot across his bathroom. $200 million toy. The stethoscope was invented in 1816 because a French doctor felt uncomfortable doing what? pressing his ear against a young woman's chest. Dr. Laennec rolled paper into a cylinder and heard her heartbeat much more clearly. 3M scientist Spencer Silver was trying to invent what when he accidentally created the Post-it note adhesive? A super strong adhesive for aircraft construction. He created the exact opposite, a low-tack adhesive that peeled off cleanly. Arthur Fry used it for bookmarks in his church hymnal. The signature yellow? Scrap paper from the next lab. Walter Deemer invented modern bubblegum in 1928. His job title at the Fleer Chewing Gum Company was what? An accountant! 23 years old, tinkering with gum as a hobby, succeeding where trained chemists failed for 22 years. First batch was gray, so he added the only dye on hand, pink. Never got a patent or royalties. You've probably got a can somewhere. The name WD-40 literally stands for what? Water displacement, 40th formula. 40 attempts to nail a rust prevention compound for Atlas missiles. Employees started sneaking cans home. The formula has never been patented, just to keep it secret. The Slinky toy was accidentally created in 1943 by a naval engineer who was actually developing what? A tension spring to stabilize instruments on warships. He knocked a prototype off a shelf and watched it walk downward. 400 units at Gimbals, sold out in 90 minutes. Velcro was invented after Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral examined what under a microscope in 1941? Burdock burrs stuck to his pants and his dog. Under a microscope, he saw tiny hooks latching onto loops. Took him nearly a decade. Velcro comes from the French for velvet and hook. Teflon was accidentally discovered in 1938, and its first major real-world application was in what? The Manhattan Project. Teflon's chemical resistance was critical for handling corrosive uranium hexafluoride. Non-stick cookware didn't show up until the 1960s, over 2 decades later. The modern safety pin was invented in 1849 because Walter Hunt needed to do what? Pay off a $15 debt. He was nervously twisting brass wire when he realized it could make a clasp. Designed in 3 hours, sold the patent for $400. Hasn't changed since. Kleenex facial tissues were originally developed during World War I as a material for what? Gas mask filters, developed to protect against mustard gas. After the war, they sold it as cold cream remover, then realized buyers were blowing their noses with it. The jacuzzi whirlpool was originally invented in the late 1940s as a medical device to treat what? A child's rheumatoid arthritis. Candido Takuzi's toddler was diagnosed, so the family built a pump to turn their bathtub into a therapeutic whirlpool, sold to hospitals for years before going luxury. The artificial sweetener saccharin was discovered in 1878 because chemist Konstantin Fahlberg did what? He ate dinner without washing his hands. Everything tasted intensely sweet from coal tar residue on his fingers. He patented it without telling his supervisor, who called him a scoundrel. Going way back, gunpowder was accidentally discovered by Chinese alchemists around 850 CE while trying to create what? An elixir of immortality. Taoist alchemists chasing eternal life mixed saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal, and got something violently flammable. The Chinese word for gunpowder literally means fire medicine. Last one. When shopping carts were introduced in 1937, what unexpected problem did inventor Sylvan Goldman face? Both men and women refused. Men thought they looked weak. Women said they resembled baby carriages. Goldman's fix? Hired actors to push carts around pretending to be shoppers. Within weeks, resistance crumbled. And that is a wrap on That Was Invented. For what? Some of those origins were truly unbelievable. Thanks for playing. Hit that subscribe button for more quizzes every week and drop your score in the comments. Until next time.